You know what I find fascinating? Human beings love pretending they're brave. They love pretending they're rational. They love pretending they're forward thinking. But the moment something new appears, they panic like Victorian peasants staring at a light bulb. And right now, the new thing everyone is terrified of is AI. Suddenly, everybody is an expert. Suddenly, everybody is a moral philosopher. Suddenly, everybody is warning us about Skynet, about the end of humanity, about the death of creativity, about the collapse of civilization. And you know what's funny? A lot of these people don't even understand what AI is. They never have used it properly. They don't know how it works, but they've got very strong opinions about it. Because human beings don't need knowledge to feel fear. They only need unfamiliarity. And here's what I've been noticing as a therapist. People don't fear AI because it's dangerous. People fear AI because it humiliates them, because it exposes how much of modern intelligence is actually just confidence. So today I want to talk about the new Luddites, the people who fear AI and why they fear it the same way people once feared electricity. Because as we know, not because the tool is evil, but because the tool threatens identity, comfort and control. Before we even talk about AI, we have to define a few words because modern society has a habit of using big words like decorations. People throw them around like confetti. They don't even define them. They just use them to sound morally superior. So let's decide and define a few things. First, intelligence. Intelligence is not memorizing facts. Intelligence is not sounding articulate. Intelligence is definitely not quoting Wikipedia. And intelligence is adaptability. So it's the ability to look at a new situation and adjust. Second, creativity. Creativity is not just talent. Creativity is not being artistic. Creativity is the ability to combine ideas under pressure. It's the ability to build something new out of chaos. And thirdly, ethics. Ethics is not what you post online. Ethics is not the opinions you repeat to fit in the tribe, your group, your social conditioning. Ethics is what you do when nobody is watching. Now, ethics is how you behave when there's no reward for being good. Now, keep these three definitions in your mind because AI is currently challenging all three. It's challenging people's idea of intelligence, it's challenging people's idea of creativity, and it's challenging people's idea of ethics. And that's why the reaction is so emotional. There's a psychological pattern that repeats throughout history. Whenever something new appears, society splits into two groups. Group one says, this is progress, we need to learn how to use it. Group two says, this is unnatural, this is evil, this will destroy society. And group two always sounds morally superior. They don't say, I'm afraid. They say, this is harmful, because fear doesn't sound intelligent. But morality does. That's the first clue. A lot of modern anti-AI thinking isn't really ethical concern, it's fear dressed up as virtue. But there's also a third group. This is a quiet group. They don't argue about it online, they don't post about it, and they don't make dramatic speeches. And simply learn the tool and they get ahead. And those are the people who always win. Because history doesn't reward the loudest moral panic. History rewards adaptation. The term Luddite comes from the Industrial Revolution. Work started smashing textile machines because they believed machines would destroy jobs. They believed machines would destroy craftsmanship. They believed machines would destroy society. And to be fair, they weren't completely wrong. Some people did lose work. Some people did get replaced. But here's the part most people leave out. Those machines didn't destroy humanity. They exposed humanity. They exposed the greed, they exposed the inequality, and they exposed fragile systems. And they exposed something even more uncomfortable. They exposed that fact that a lot of society was built on labour that was barely valued in the first place. And what happened next? Well, society adapted, new jobs appeared, new industries formed. These new skills became valuable, and eventually the same people who feared the machines couldn't live without them. And now here's the deeper point. The Luddites weren't wrong about disruption. They were wrong about where value comes from. Because value does not come from labour. Value comes from leverage. And leverage is what tools create. AI is a tool. And it's creating leverage. And that's why people are panicking. Now, let's talk about electricity. When electricity first became widely available, people feared it. Some believed it would disrupt the body, disrupt sleep, disrupt nature, and disrupt God's order. Some people believed electricity light was sinful. Some believed it was unnatural. Some believed it would weaken the human spirit. And now, your entire modern life is built on electricity. Your heating, your food, your work, your phone, your Wi-Fi, your hospitals, your travel, your entertainment. Everything. And notice something. The fear didn't disappear because electricity became safe. Electricity is still dangerous. If you stick your fingers in the wrong place, you can die instantly. The fear disappeared because people got used to it. Because fear doesn't care about facts. Fear cares about familiarity. If it's new, it feels dangerous. If it's familiar, it feels normal. And anything you don't understand feels like witchcraft. That is why people feared electricity, not because it was evil, because it was unfamiliar power. And then in the 90s, late 90s, we got the internet. And the exact same pattern happened again. People said, this will destroy attention. This will destroy education. This will destroy social life. This will destroy truth. And here's the irony. Some of them were right, but the internet itself wasn't evil. It was a tool. And it still is a tool we use now. It's amplified what already existed. It amplified intelligence. It amplified creativity. It amplified opportunity. But it also amplified, yes, stupidity. It amplified narcissism. It amplified propaganda. It amplified addiction. It amplified tribalism. And people, again, blamed the tool. Instead of asking the real question, why are human beings so easy to manipulate? The internet didn't destroy truth. It exposed how many people never cared about truth in the first place. And guess what? Now AI is doing the same thing. It's not creating new evil. It's amplifying what already exists. So now we reach AI. Why do people fear it so intensely? It's not because AI is evil. It's not because AI is too powerful. It's because AI threatens something deeper. AI threatens identity. It threatens ego. AI threatens the illusion that human beings are special. And I'm not talking about spiritual special. I'm not talking about soul, consciousness, gods, deities, any of that. I'm talking about ego special, because a lot of people have built their identity around being knowledgeable, articulate, skilled, creative, intelligent. And now a machine appears that can write a poem, generate an image, explains philosophy, summarize books, create marketing, build websites, answer questions instantly, and suddenly people panic because the ego says, if this machine can do what I do, then what am I worth? That's the real fear. Not AI will take my job. The real fear is AI will expose that your job was never special. And that terrifies people. Because many people don't have an identity beyond their profession. So instead of saying, this actually makes me feel very insecure, they say, this is ethical, this is dangerous, this is destroying society, this is stealing jobs. And they come up with some wild claims. And yes, AI will disrupt jobs. It will disrupt industries. It will collapse certain careers. But here's the real question. What kind of society was built so fragile that a tool can collapse it? Because a stable society adapts. A fragile society collapses. And if AI collapses your life, the problem isn't AI. The problem is you were living in a fragile structure. Now, the funniest part of this entire conversation is that people base their fear on Hollywood. This is social conditioning. They've watched Terminator, they've watched iRobot, they've watched Black Mirror TV series, and now they talk like these are documentaries. They talk like the cybersecurity analysts. They watched one episode of Black Mirror and now they think they understand artificial intelligence. And they forget something important. Those TV programs and films are fiction. They are symbolic warnings. They are stories about human nature, not just about robots. Terminator isn't a warning about AI. It's a warning about humans beings giving power to systems they don't understand. It's a warning about arrogance. It's also a warning about irresponsibility. The danger isn't the machine. The danger is the human mind. Because human beings built things they don't emotionally mature enough to even handle. That's the real problem, not the technology. The immaturity of the species using it. An AI is like a mirror. It reflects the quality of the person using it. A wise person uses AI as a tool to enhance thinking. A lazy person uses AI to avoid thinking. A manipulative person uses AI to deceive. And a creative person uses AI to build. And a weak person uses AI as an excuses to quit. So AI isn't the threat. Human intention is that threat. Because AI will amplify your nature. If you're lazy, it will amplify laziness. If you're intelligent, it will amplify your intelligence. If you're ethical, it will amplify ethics. If you're corrupt, it will amplify corruption. So, the real conversation isn't, is AI evil? The real conversation is, how psychologically immature is modern society? Because if society is mature, tools become empowerment. If society is immature, tools become weapons. So let's do a proper ethics test here. Let's ask some very uncomfortable questions. If AI can write better than you, should you still be paid for writing? If AI can diagnose illness faster than a doctor, should the doctor still be trusted anymore? If AI can teach a child maths perfectly, should we still hire teachers? If AI can generate art instantly, should artists still be valued? Now watch what happens in your mind, because suddenly the AI is amazing crowd becomes authoritarian. And suddenly the freedom crowd wants restrictions. Why? Because human beings don't care about ethics when it's abstract. They care about ethics when it threatens their status. And that is the real exposure. AI is exposing that many people don't actually have many principles. They have preferences. And their preferences change the moment they feel economically threatened. So here's the real truth and the big truth. People don't fear AI because it will destroy the world. People fear AI because it reveals the world. It reveals who is intelligent and who is reactive. It reveals who can adapt and who cannot. It reveals who is ethical and who is performative. And the new Luddites ain't fighting AI. They're fighting the fact that the future doesn't ask permission. The future doesn't care about your nostalgia. Never did. It doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about your political ideology. It doesn't care about your excuses. The future arrives and you either evolve or you become bitter. So what do we do with this? Well, here's my view. Rule number 1, learn the tool before you judge it. If you've never used AI properly, your opinion is basically irrelevant. It's like criticizing electricity while still living by candlelight, or moaning about the internet, but commenting on Facebook. Rule number 2, do not outsource your thinking. AI should not replace your mind, it should enhance your mind. And rule number 3, build skills that AI cannot replace. Your character, your courage, your discernment, your emotional regulation, and your real wisdom. Because the truth is, AI can generate as much information as it wants, but it cannot generate maturity. AI can generate content, but it cannot generate integrity. And that is why human beings still matter. So the next time someone tells you AI is evil, ask them this. Would they have rejected the printing press? Would they have rejected electricity? Would they have rejected the internet? Or are they simply afraid of what happens when the world changes faster than their nervous system can handle? Because the truth is, the future is coming either way. And the question isn't whether AI will change society. The question is whether people will evolve fast enough to stay human. Because AI isn't here to destroy humanity. It's here to expose who never had any depth in the first place. And the future doesn't ask permission. It only asks one question. Can you adapt without becoming bitter? That's Sunday's sermon. And try not to collapse society before next week. And I'll see you next Sunday. And yes, I will still be human. Until then, speak to you soon.